Welcome to Roofing Road Trips, the podcast that takes you on a thrilling journey across the world of roofing. From fascinating interviews with roofing experts to on-the-road adventures, we'll uncover the stories, innovations, and challenges that shape the rooftops over our heads. So fasten your seatbelts and join us as we embark on this exciting roofing road trip.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Roofing Road Trips from Roofers Coffee Shop. My name is Karen Edwards, and today's episode, I tell you, I think it's going to be a lot of fun because we have two very good friends here today whose friendship led to a business partnership, and we're going to hear all about this from Heath Hicks and Eric Mackintosh. Welcome to the podcast, guys.
Fun.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, this is great. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So let's get started by introducing yourselves. And Eric, why don't you go first? Who are you and what do you do?
Sure. My name is Eric Mackintosh. I am in the roofing space. My first career was in film and TV. I was a director of photography and camera operator. I did that for 10 years professionally. I lived in LA. I met my wife there, had kids there. And then when I felt the need, I really wanted to get out of that industry because I just didn't see my family. It was really tough on the family. Heath was buying Avco roofing. We had been best friends since like 2003.
Yeah.
And so I convinced him begrudgingly to let me come on at Avco. I'd never done sales or project management, but I guess I convinced him that I could do it. I think he took a leap of faith on me. And then, I was at Avco Roofing for 3 years as a project manager. And during that time, we were developing the catch-all at the same time. And here we are. I've been doing the catch-all full time since 2019. So,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Heath, how about yourself?
Yeah, so had a couple different stages of careers. Before roofing, it was film and television. That's how Eric and I met. Was a stuntman for a while, actually. And then the market crashed in 2008, 2009. I left the film industry and jumped into roofing, just roofing sales. And I was a roofing salesman for about 7 years. And then the Avco opportunity opened up. It was a pretty small shop at the time. I was the only salesman, and I got the opportunity to buy it. And within that first year, we really exploded. And Eric moved from LA to come be a roofing salesman against my better advice.
Yeah, that's true.
Against my better advice.
It was the hardest thing I've ever done, for sure.
Man, it was hard, but
yeah.
So now I've been the owner at Avco Roofing now for almost 10 years, coming up really close on 10 years, actually. That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
And in that process,
so you guys have been
it might be
friends?
10 years. Is it?
I think
in the next couple months, right?
I think the anniversary, is November 1st.
No, because I moved here, this is 2025. I moved here at the end of 15. I moved here in November of 15.
Yeah. We'll have to do the math after the
That's crazy.
After the podcast
because
is over,
we need a celebration,
yeah,
right?
That's
A
right.
birthday
We do need
celebration.
Yeah.
So been doing Avco for a long time now, and in that process, Eric and I started the catch-all, and that's where most of our focus has been since then. And man, it's been a great ride. Catch-all's been a fun business. Learned a lot of new skills. Learned a lot about business in a different way than a roofing company affords you the opportunity to learn about it. And it's been a fun, really successful, for the most part, really enjoyable ride. There's ups and downs on like everything, but
For sure.
Yeah, it's been a great ride.
So you guys have been friends for 20 plus years.
Yep.
Coming from film and TV, and that's fascinating. And I did catch that you said you were a stuntman for a while, Heath?
I was, yeah.
That was really fun. I remember I shot some videos and used his stunt services, and we just had a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun stuff. It hurt.
All right. Well,
But it was
maybe
fun.
we can dust off some of those videos and show you in
Yeah.
action.
Yeah, that'd be
at
fun.
some point.
Yeah.
All right. So, very good friends. You're working together. You decide to start a business, the catch-all, together.
Yeah.
How did you decide that? What's that story?
Well, Eric had been figuring out how to be a roofing salesman and definitely had found some success, more success than I thought he would have. But it was not his natural personality, so it actually took a ton of his energy and his focus to do it. And so he was pretty exhausted.
Yeah.
He was succeeding, but it was harder on him than it would be on someone who was more natural salesperson. And so he was like, dude, what can I do to get out of roofing sales? I really don't want to do this forever, even though it's paying well.
Yeah.
And so he was like, let's invent something, because I had kind of a list of ideas. I remember the day in my office, he was like, let's just make one of your ideas. Let's just do that, so we don't have to do roofing forever. And so
it's so simple.
It's so simple. Let's just make a bunch of money doing something really easy. Everybody does it. Yeah. And so, anyways, I remember literally I looked through my phone because I had notes on my phone, and he wrote down on this pad like what the different ideas were, and we kind of riffed on them and played around with like what it is we could do. And he was like, this one seems pretty cool. And I was like, yeah, I mean, it seems like an easier one to start with than the other ideas, because that idea, catch-all, was roofing related, and we were already in that industry. Some of these other ideas had nothing to do with anything we'd ever done before, so we would have so much more learning. And at that point, with Avco's success, I had like kind of been invited to speak at the trade shows and been on podcasts like this, and so we were like, well, we already have sort of a voice in the industry in a sense, and so let's just start with that one because it seems like the thing that's closest to us.
Well, not only that, we knew that it would help us at Avco.
Well, yeah, we knew from our perspective doing roofing sales for so long that we wanted the product.
Right.
And so
I wanted it on my jobs because I was stressed out every dang day when we were tearing off shingles and the nails were going everywhere. Customers were yelling at me because I was working in Holly Tree, the golf course neighborhood.
Big neighborhood in Tyler where all the really picky customers are.
Very picky. the wives who would stay home all day and just watch, or the ones.
A lot of retirees.
Yes,
there the whole time.
I did one job for a retired engineer, and he would walk around with me for 45 minutes every evening with a clipboard, and he would check off all this stuff. And so I'm like, I've got to make this whole process smoother and cleaner. Yeah. So I was on board for that one.
Yeah. So we just started experimenting and prototyping. We brought some 3D printers. We made a vacuum mold system to just start being able to test all these different shapes of parts and pieces. And then we hired a guy eventually just to kind of source materials for us and help us build prototypes and go out in the field. And he was still doing roofing sales during most of that, just doing it in our off times and on the weekends, and just putting in the sweat equity to really get it moving. And I remember really specifically the big breakthrough conversation for us was when we were trying to figure out how to get the catch-all to work on every home. Because in the beginning, we were going to hang it from the gutters or clip it to the fascia. Not every house has gutters, and fascia is different on every house. And sometimes those clips were like messing with people's paint and stuff.
And then how do you get it on a rake edge?
Yeah, and how do you put it on? And so we were just like, we were a couple months in, and I felt like we were just banging our heads against a brick wall, trying to figure out how to make this thing better so it could be used everywhere. And I think it was Eric's idea to use the poles. To use the poles to be able to lean it up against the house so it doesn't have to attach to the house at all. That was really the idea where I was like, oh, we can totally do this. Yeah, I get it. That'll work. Because now we can put it on every house. We don't have to make all these different systems to work on different kinds of houses. One for brick and one for siding and one for houses that have gutters, have all these attachments to use all these different ways. I was like, oh, we can literally put this on any upright structure. Commercial, residential, brick, whatever, it doesn't matter. We can use it on any house. And so that's when the momentum really, really kicked off.
Yeah, I remember the first house I ever tested it on was a big 2-story in Holly Tree, and we just had paint poles, and we had Nerf footballs that we cut in half and drilled out little holes and jammed on the top. I have pictures of that. Yeah, great. And it worked.
It totally worked.
And the homeowners loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, that iteration process was so fun because I remember we put the footballs on there. Yeah. And then we put it up on the house, and then when the wind would blow or anything would land on it, all the poles would kind of just roll inward because the thing on top was round, and so then they would all kind of roll and fall. And then literally, I think by the next day, we had printed out something that was like a T shape to keep it from being able to roll. And then we took that out in the field, and then that one broke, and then so we came back and we made a different shape, and then we tested it for a couple days, and then we eventually ended up on this shape that worked really well. And that cycle of iteration was just really fun. It was keeping our momentum going so much. It wasn't even about the money at that point because we were so far away from ever making any money at that point. We were just trying to build a system that worked. We got so much energy from all that iteration, trying and failing and little improvement after little improvement. And then you almost get to where it's totally going to work, and then you realize this is not going to work at all. We have to actually go all the way back and restart it because we pushed it far enough to realize where it really wasn't going to work. And we have to go back and swim up another stream and start all over again. But it was really fun.
What made you stick with it when you said, we tried it and failed, then we had to start over?
Honestly,
that can be defeating, right?
Yeah, it certainly can, but I think for us, it was just really fun doing it together.
Yeah.
We just had a lot of energy. Every time we made a little improvement, we knew it was an improvement. It didn't even matter if the world knew if it's going to make money or not. We knew we were actually making something better through all those rounds of process.
Yeah, and there was multiple things that we were working on. I mean, I wanted my jobs to be better, but I also knew that this could be a business that could help a lot of other people and could also build a business that would be good for our legacy as well. So yeah. And I've just always had this sort of odd belief that I can do whatever I want to do. And I think you have too.
Totally.
And so, if we just try long enough, eventually we're going to get it right,
Yeah. I mean, our mindset is if somebody else has done it, we can totally do it.
Yeah.
The only difference between us right now and them where they are right now is that we just haven't gone down the path they've gone down.
Right.
But if we can find that path and hit the same path, we're going to end up in the same place. We can do the same things they can do.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that there's a solution here. I think we can figure this out. Yeah.
Totally.
We've already figured out several ways that don't work, so let's keep trying. Maybe we'll find a way that does work.
Yeah. I think, and me personally, I really like doing things that haven't been done before. That's a lot more exciting to me. But I also know that I'm going to pay such a higher price to learn that path because, on most paths, you've got some markers and some guideposts somewhere. Even if you're lost in the woods for a while, you eventually come to the intersection with the signs that tell you where to go. I like going the path where there just isn't that. There's nobody to follow, nothing to emulate. You're just kind of making it up as you go along. That to me is particularly exciting. Getting into like that blue ocean area where there's just nobody else out there. I really like that.
Well, our relationship was kind of built on that. I remember back in 2003 and 2004, we would just make up games together. That's what our relationship consisted of.
That's true. Back when we were kind of like college age kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would just make stuff up, or we would be doing crazy stuff that people are like, that people generally wouldn't think of, but we would go, you would go find a whole bunch of wrestling mats and put them down the hill and cover it in olive oil, and all of our friends would come have slip and slides, or we've invented a lot of crazy games. Going down the stairs and over the balconies.
So many crazy games.
Yeah.
Well, that's funny because one of the, you've since the catch-all, the original, you've released additional products that we've talked about on other episodes of this podcast. Have you, and you mentioned, Heath, that you had an idea list on your phone.
Yeah.
Did any of those ideas come to fruition? Like, wow, this one's really crazy, but then you actually made it work. Maybe that was the original catch-all. You made it work.
Oh, for sure. Definitely the catch-all. Yeah, there's other things that are in development right now that have come off of that list for sure, which you can't totally all talk about, but can't give all the details on all of it. But yeah, there's definitely ideas that have come off of that list, multiple ideas, and then there's ideas he's had from his side that we've also brought together and brought into being, and really cool stuff. I mean, one particularly painful iteration process that we worked on for a couple of years to try to solve a problem of how to move the trash and debris on the job site to the trailer, because we could get it off of the roof now without making a mess. But once it's off the roof, how do we get it to the trailer without making a mess in that path? Because really, when you start moving trash everywhere, you start dropping trash everywhere, and nails are falling out of your wheelbarrow, and you're dragging trash actually into parts of the yard that aren't even near the house, so people don't even think about cleaning them up. Because, it's not very close to the house, but you realize that guy with the wheelbarrow has been out that route around the tree, almost by the mailbox back to the trailer 30 times that day. And so there's trash everywhere. You just don't see it because it's all small pieces. And we were riffing on that idea for a couple of years, and actually had kind of almost a couple arguments about it, because we had a strong difference of opinion on what was really going to solve the problem. And it wasn't really arguments. We just got tense because we could feel we were close to a solution, but neither one of us really liked where it was going, and we couldn't find one that we both really believed in. That's where we came up with Load Runner, which is that wheelbarrow lift that is, in the production process right now, which should be released into the world here hopefully soon. And that's a pretty significant product. It's large, it's expensive, it's going to do a lot of great work, and it's really going to change the way people work at job sites way beyond roofing into landscaping and general construction and commercial construction and debris removal and restoration companies. There's a lot of people are going to use that. That came out of
we've gotten emails even from people just in industry, in their shop, or they need a solution and they want us to adapt it for that.
And then on the, if you come visit our shop, with, we love people stopping by. There's a whole list on the wall of all the things that we're working on that are different phases, different parts of the process, or whether it's still in R&D or in legal or patent work or pre-production work or design work or whatever. It's crazy how long that stuff really takes and how many steps there really are. It's been a really fun process for me to learn something that I didn't know anything about. Manufacturing and design, research development, design, manufacturing. I didn't know anything about that. And so really getting to learn, it's been cool. I really, both of us, I think we really get energized when we're learning new things. If I had a choice, I would rather learn new things than go back and master old things.
For sure.
And so, it fits our personalities well.
So, Eric, you got out of roofing sales. Congratulations. And what does your day-to-day look like? Are you overseeing most of this product development?
Yeah, I'm overseeing product in general, so supply chain and product development. I actually spend more of my time on the supply chain side. We're doing a big push to move our production from China to other places. We're moving a lot to India. We've been to India this year and building some really strong relationships with some really great manufacturing partners over there, and really enjoyed our time. Great facilities, great people, great food, great experiences. We took our families. That was really cool.
That was great.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And so, just making sure the supply chain stays steady, and we're always optimizing where we're getting product and when, and optimizing manufacturing processes and even design on some of the products. Then, research and development, just tinkering and experimenting and either 3D printing or fabrication of some variety, and then getting into the field and testing, or just testing on site and iterating from there. And so a lot of fun stuff. Every day's different.
It looks like a mad scientist lab because there's so many different versions of so many different things,
right?
In part or in whole, just kind of laying around everywhere that are in process of like, hey, we tried this piece, we realized it needs to be a little bit longer, so that one's sitting here, and we're waiting for the other one to be made and get reassembled into the thing that's going to do whatever it's going to do. And so it's pretty fun. Also want to take a second and give Eric a shout out, like some credit on the stuff he does on supply chain, because since COVID. From COVID until now, prices for everything have just been like going up and up and up and up everywhere, everything, for any reason now. He's worked really hard on a lot of that stuff, and I think we've had one price increase, is that right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've had one price increase since COVID. And if you compare that to the other products in your life, I mean, that's very significant to figure out a way where he's cutting enough and managing enough on that side that we don't have to do that, but we're still making enough profit to be a healthy company that can grow, because we have to actually make pretty decent margin because we're investing it back into R&D. Not every company is built that way, so they don't have that line item expense, and it's just expensive. The legal work around patent stuff on its own, dude, that's so expensive.
I do spend a lot of time on legal work.
It's expensive, and we have how many patents now? I don't even know anymore. I don't know. We got hundreds of claims. I don't know how many patent packages we've got. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And
that's important.
Yeah, that's important, but really just props to Eric for being able to figure out how to keep all that stuff moving in a way that we don't have to always increase price.
Oh, thanks.
It's good. And our customers wouldn't appreciate it too. They don't really know that you do that and really know what the pressure we faced. But to be able to have made it through all this period and not having to have raised prices like 9 times has been a big accomplishment.
I used to have a bunch of spreadsheets that all sort of intermingled, and it was pretty stressful and
so hard to look at.
Now we have some software, which I really love. Big fan of the software.
Nice. So I want to know, working with a best friend can be similar to working with family members, that there might be disagreements, there might be stress.
It's perfect.
I don't know. Never happens for the two of
you. Yes, we've never had any of that.
Yeah, it's been hard at times, certainly. I mean, really and truly.
Yeah.
But I think we're so committed to each other and to our friendship, and we've been so close for so long. I think neither of us we both can be pretty stubborn, and I think neither of us are willing to, we're not going to sacrifice our friendship and I think both of us have been to the point where we realize, I would rather sacrifice my position at the catch-all than our friendship.
There's definitely been times where we're like, do we need to walk away from this, or do I need to leave this so that we can keep our friendship? Because the stress around work stuff, because we have very strong personalities. We both are definitely really stubborn, and we both have very clear ideas of the way that we think something should work.
That's correct.
And so, but it's been beautiful. I've really learned a lot about friendship in life because, one particular season that was really hard for us, honestly, what kept me in it was my love for his family. I really loved him.
Well, I appreciate that.
Truly.
Yeah.
But like knowing his wife and his kids for all these years, I'm like, even when I didn't feel it necessarily specifically for him, I knew that as a partner, I felt like I was taking on his family's future and legacy as well, not just him. And so it's been deep and fulfilling to really have love that gets that much wider than just loving one person, is loving the whole group. And it's been cool. It's been a really deepening and widening, expansive experience for me. So.
Yeah, me too, for sure. Yeah, business is hard. I honestly wouldn't recommend people go to business with their friends.
Definitely not recommend it, for sure.
I mean, I'm really pumped with how it's going, but it's been a hard journey. And I can see how a lot of people would lose a friend. I've seen it.
Totally.
I've seen friends
absolutely
go to business with their friends, and they lose their business and they lose the relationship because, it's just, it's tough.
Yeah. I think at the end of it, though, even in our worst moments, our hardest moments, not worst, isn't really the right word, but our hardest moments, there was a deep commitment there. Like, I just wasn't going to drop him. I would never hurt him. I would never go against him. I would never take anything from him.
It's totally mutual.
And, then when it got down to like, I really committed to care for his family, and I wasn't going to let that drop. It's been cool. It's beautiful.
Oh, I love to hear that. And, hopefully if someone out there is thinking about starting a business with a friend, you're going to get some takeaways.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Wow. Okay. So this has been really great to talk about. You mentioned the waste disposal. I remember seeing that at the International Roofing Expo last year.
The low burner.
Will you have that again this year? And maybe is it a little further along?
Yes. I'm very certain, although not 100%, very certain that it should be at the show. Yes, it will definitely be a much polished version over the one that we had there. Although it worked and it was a really good prototype, but there should be a production version. If everything goes to plan, there'll be a production version of that at the show, which you'll be able to see with the unit you're actually purchasing.
Right. If anybody looked at that up close, it would be like, you can tell it's not a production ready version.
We did some hand welds on there. Yeah. We were making some adjustments the morning of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Some things were breaking and we're making them. Yeah. But that's the fun.
But we got it to the show, and without your ambition, I wanted to kill it. I was like, no, there's no way this is going to be ready.
Yeah.
Heath is like, what if we tried this? What if we tried this? And I'm like, it's, and then we made it work, and then we spray painted everything that was ugly. We spray painted it black, and it looked great. It made a splash.
Yeah.
People loved it, and it's moving the product forward. So
I mean, within the week of the show, I think we stopped counting like 10 million views across the various platforms, all the GIFs and short form videos, TikTok and stuff like that. Yeah, but it made a lot of waves, and there's a bunch of those videos out there we didn't even find and probably didn't tabulate very well, but we're excited about that. But it is a perfect picture of our stubbornness for sure.
I thought the project was dead happen. I mean, at least for the show, not dead in general, but dead to get to the IRE. And what happened? I mean, it was a Friday night. I was texting and calling with Heath because I was up there late, and I was like, I just don't think it's, and then Heath said something. It was not like no pressure, but he said something in text, and then I slept on it that night. I woke up and I was like, I'm going in. I can make this thing work. And I couldn't, everybody else, I mean, it was like Saturday at 7 a.m. I couldn't get anybody to help me. I mean, everybody was asleep. And so I got my 13-year-old son to go up there with me, and we were there till like 10 p.m. And got it going. So.
Wow. So is one of you more of a big picture visionary and one of you's more detail? I'm getting the feel that, Eric, you're the detail.
Heath, detail.
So Heath has these big ideas and these big visions. And how many times do you groan when he shares one with you? Like, geez, how are we going to do that?
Yeah, that sounds like a million details. But that's what makes our relationship so strong, our partnership so strong, because he sees the world, he's like on the ISS looking out at the at the world from going 17,000 miles an hour, and I'm down like doing the fine details. And so the difference in perspective, I think, really covers a lot of ground, and we can get a lot done.
Yeah, it's a good relationship. And I realized early in my career with Avco, I do have an ability to be a details person. I started my first layers of career. I was actually kind of very detail-oriented jobs, but what I realized when I became the owner, which I ended up in the visionary role, that if I was trying to be a visionary and I was also trying to do all the details, it didn't work, because when I would have an idea, then I would see how much work it would take, and then I wouldn't want to do the idea.
Oh, yeah.
Right? There's like weights on the other end. You really have to like offload that if you're going to be an effective visionary. You almost at times really can't be aware of how hard it's going to be to get that thing done. All you need to know is that it can't be done. Because if you have to feel the weight of it through all the grinding it takes to get it done, then you'll lose your energy to keep being, coming up with those ideas. And so I realized that before Catch-All had started, and I had started to offload those details and really share the responsibility of those things getting done inside of Avco Roofing Company first. And then by the time I got into Catch-All, I understood pretty clearly that I couldn't, in order to really be a visionary, I couldn't be burdened by the weight of the details and what it would really take and how long it would take and how many attempts we would have to go through. Because otherwise I would just stop dreaming if I saw how hard it was. And so I have to almost intentionally, purposely be a little bit blind to that and say, no, I know we can do it. Because that's my role, is to say, I know that we can get it done, because things like this have been done before, so I know we can figure it out. And that's probably what that text was like on that Friday night. It was like, well, I understand that you've tried 622 things, but I feel like we could try one more thing this way.
Yeah.
And so, it's a fun position to be in, but it is hard sometimes in that role, because I know that the things that the visionary might be asking for sometimes are pretty big asks.
Yeah. So looking back, if you were to go back 20 years ago, give your younger selves some advice, would you tell them, don't do it, don't start the business?
No.
Or do you think you'd say you're going to be great at it?
It would probably really center around this idea of the growth path I've been on to learn to be a leader. I didn't mind leading people, but I didn't really ever want to be famous. I didn't want to be like the face of something. I really kind of resisted that. And unknowingly, I stepped back a little bit from my leadership and my authority, especially inside the roofing company, because I wanted to promote other people. I wanted other people to have chances. And I was even trying to transition the company to a group of other people at one point. And really what I was doing was I was running from the things that God was calling me to. And I suffered a fair amount because I wasn't willing to learn the lesson, that I needed to be the leader.
Did you get swallowed by a whale?
It felt like it. It felt like it. Yes. It was hard. If I could give myself advice, it would be to embrace, being the king or the chief or the leader of the tribe that you're in. And I really was trying to get away from that for a while. I didn't ever want to be that. I sort of as Avco was taking off and Catch-All was taking off, I sort of like realized one day there was like a tribe, but I just wanted to be in the tribe. I didn't necessarily want to be the chief. And it left a vacancy of leadership. And some of that really hurt me and hurt some of the other people around us and made it more complex than it needed to be, because I didn't think I was worthy of it. I didn't think I was good enough for it. I didn't want it. The lessons I've learned in the last few years are how to embrace that process better, because it kind of is the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
What about you, Eric?
I think for me, if I could go back, I would try to convince myself to enjoy the process and not. I'm very guilty of, I want to be here and I'm not happy if I'm not here. And then as soon as I get there, I'm looking to the next thing. Yeah. And so I'm always just trying to get to the next level. I've been guilty of not enjoying the process and enjoying the moment. And I think that's something I'm learning now. Because there's still so much that we want to do, but I'm really enjoying it right now. Yeah. And so we're kind of in a sweet spot. Yeah. But I'm enjoying the process. I'm enjoying, I still have 2 kids at home, enjoying the time with them, enjoying growing with my wife. And yeah.
So to sum it up, I'm going to summarize mine smaller. I would go back and I would hand myself the book, King, Warrior, Magician, Lover. It really talks about the 4 roles that we play in life and how we have to be able to understand each of them and be the right thing at the right time. And, we're all naturally more one than the other, but at different times in our life, we really have to be all of them. And I was kind of choosing not to be the leader of my own life in some ways. And I would go back and give myself that book, and I think it would help me a lot.
Well said. Well said. Yeah. And now, Heath, do you find yourself, you're the face of the Catch-All? You're the Catch-All guy.
A little bit, yes. I am a little bit the face, but I'm definitely the leader. Definitely the leader. Yeah. And, in the beginning, especially in Avco, I wasn't always the leader of everything. I was kind of letting other people do it. But definitely have embraced a leadership role here. And Eric and I are partners for sure, and we work well together. But there are times where, because of my experience, I have to look and go, this is just the way it's going to be. This is what we're going to do. Because there has to be a decision made. And the decisions we're making really need to be in line with all the other decisions we've made. And so this is the way it's going to be.
And I think actually, I don't think the catch-all would still exist if we didn't have one leader. Because I think there would have been plenty of times where if there wasn't one designated leader, we would have wrestled and
totally
crashed the bus.
For sure.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Your friendship is obvious. It's evident. The way you speak about each other it's really inspiring. And in a world where business feels increasingly impersonal, where do you see the future of roofing companies built out of close friends? Do you think that allows them to provide better service, build better relationships? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, my first thought is we should start a counseling program or some sort of program for friends that are in business. Come take our friends in business course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man. I think that typically partnerships, especially when they're friendships, are fraught with danger and potholes. And because if the friendship is going well and one friend is more biased towards the other friend than they should be in protecting them and their interests and their desires and their feelings, then the business doesn't really move forward the way that it should. And then if there gets to be angst and bitterness between the two, which is very common, then sometimes they're actually pushing harder against the other person than really needs to be, because they're resisting the feelings and experience they're having, and they're not resisting the idea because it's a bad idea. They're resisting the person because they're mad at them. And so the business suffers that way as well. So it can be really rough. But I think if you're going to do it, get a coach from the outside that will look at you and go, dude, you're just wrong. Sorry. You're the wrong one in the scenario. You're going to have to change. You're going to have to grow up. You're going to have to give up your desire for that thing or let go of that idea because it's just a bad idea. And so I would say we got a coach that came in the last, really about 3 years ago.
Yeah. Maybe 3.5, 4.
Yeah, 3.5 years ago or so.
Yeah.
And honestly facilitated really the changes that we needed to get our friendship back and get the business back growing. And I mean, there was a meeting where he looked at us both and was like, listen, if you guys don't figure this shit out, your company's going to die.
Yeah.
And you're both going to be unhappy and you're both going to miss out on a lot of potential and opportunity. So if one of you needs to buy each other out, or you need to go out into the field and, duke it out, whatever you got to do, you got to solve it because you're holding the whole company back.
Instead of fighting, let's race to the top of the mountain.
Yeah, deal. Okay. Yeah, you
Yeah.
Just give it to you. Yeah, that really helped us, honestly. Shout out to Colin.
Yeah,
Colin Talley. He's an EOS implementer, started out there. Now he's got his own thing called Exit Momentum. I could not recommend it more. Finding a coach. That's actually my first piece of advice for every business owner is find a coach. Any high performance person in the world, I don't care if they're an athlete or a singer or a banker or what, if they're in the top tier, they've got coach. They probably got multiple coaches. And so get a coach. Advice number one. I started out with Jim Johnson in the industry. Couldn't have made a better decision in roofing for a coach. Had worked with him for years, and then once we kind of got into a different space where I'm running multiple businesses, I had to step outside of roofing specific stuff, and that's where we found Colin. And Exit Momentum is the name of his company, and I don't think we would be here today. One of us would be gone. I think the business would probably have made it, but one of us wouldn't be here. Yeah, and we probably wouldn't be in the tightest of friendship. We probably still know each other and see each other some, but we probably wouldn't be tight. We'd probably be kind of mad. At least one of us. And so, get a coach. Without him, I don't think we would have made it through. So, especially if you're family or friends, you need an outside perspective that can just go, that's just a bad idea, and help to decide what's best for the business. Do that. So,
excellent.
I agree.
Wow. Yeah, great story. Thank you so much for sharing. And at the end of this podcast, I want to wrap up and say you've got additional, since the founding of the development of the catch-all, the original, you've got the nail catch, you've got Shrub Shield, you have pools protection, and you've got stuff coming. You mentioned the load runner, and then there's more. So you guys have really done a lot in a short period of time in creating these solutions that are making life better for contractors and homeowners. So Congratulations.
Totally.
Yeah, thank you.
I want to throw a little mention out there of AC Shield. It's a new product we've got. It's under pre-order right now.
Yeah.
Should be in the water headed this way soon.
Parts of it are in the water as we speak.
Nice. The AC Shield is sort of an adaptation or extension of the idea of the catch-all with the nets and the poles, but it's a system of nets and poles specifically meant to cover the AC unit. And man, how many times have we messed up an AC unit? A lot of times.
At least it's not expensive.
Yeah, it's not very expensive. It folds up into a really small bag, and that way, on every single job.
I was talking about the AC is not expensive to replace. Being facetious, of course.
Yes, sorry, I misheard. My hearing is going. Yes, ACs are super expensive, but the AC Shield is not super expensive for what it is. It folds down to a small bag. You can take it on every job site. You can throw it behind the seat in your pickup and just always have the right thing to be able to protect the AC at every job site and not have to put plywood on it and with some foam and, or ask them in the Northeast, it's real common. They ask people to turn it off for the whole day while they're working and they put a tarp over it and the homeowner's dying inside, and don't want to do that. With the AC Shield, you can run the air conditioner all day and still keep it protected and have peace of mind that, if you get those at every job site, they'll be covered up the right way and they'll be good. So pre-order it today.
Pre-order. All right. Yeah. And so what's your website? Where can someone go to get this information?
We're thecatchall.com.
Thecatchall.com. Go check it out. Surf around.
Yeah.
Get our SEO up, please. Just spend a bunch of time. Click on all the pages. Just keep it in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check out our socials.
That's right. And we're trying to help out there because we do have a full directory on Roofers Coffee Shop for the catch-all. So you can surf on over there and then jump over to their website and check out the new products. Can't wait to see what the future has in store for you guys. We'll have to check back in maybe in a year from now and see what's on the burner.
We've got a lot of really cool stuff we're working on. I mean, really exciting stuff, truly. Mm. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, can you give a little hint or not? It's okay if you can't.
I mean, one of them was called the roof bucket, but that's all we're going to say about it.
Okay.
It doesn't sound cool, but it's way cooler than what it is.
Leave you all with that thought, and you can think about what that might be.
Yes.
And I'm sure we'll see it sometime really soon.
Awesome.
Thanks for having us.
All right.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah. Heath, Eric, thank you so much for being here. And thank you everybody out there for listening to this episode of Roofing Road Trips. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform because we want to see you on a future episode. Bye, everyone. See you next time.
If you've enjoyed the ride, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join us on every roofing adventure. Make sure to visit rooferscoffeeshop.com to learn more. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next Roofing Road Trip.